All right. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We have some exciting information to share with you regarding our new Ekahau Connect offering that we will be launching on April 9th. Today we have with us Jerry, Joel, Nick, and Jan. They're going to be taking us through the new offering and doing a demo. If you weren't on before, Jerry mentioned we do have the Q&A and chat features. So everyone is muted, but if you have a question, feel free to enter your questions in either the QA or the chat. And with that, we will get started. So take it away, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Danielle. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about of this exciting new product type stuff. I think, I don't know, Joel, what do you think? I guess it's okay.
Joel's speechless.
Yeah, that's just how
that is how blown away and emotional Joel is feeling right now. He can't bring himself to say anything.
Oh, I found out why I had the mute button pressed. That will cause you to not be heard. So, yeah, I don't know, Jerry. I mean, look, I think Ekahau Connect, this whole new product offering that we've got, it looks okay, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll be more excited by the time we're done presenting it here. We'll see.
All right, let's see. Maybe by the end of this, we can have Joel excited about it. That's our challenge for this webinar.
All right.
Cool. Yeah. So this is in all seriousness, this I would say is the biggest product announcement Ekahau has had to date. So yeah, we are pretty excited about it. I'm not usually a person that shows a lot of excitement, so keep that in mind as we go through this kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm one of the product managers here at Ekahau, and yeah, going to be kind of walking you through this here. Some of you guys might have already heard of this kind of stuff. We've got a few different products as part of this, so hopefully, even if you've heard of some of the products that we're working on, some of this will be new to you, and we hope this is going to be well received by yourselves as well as your customers. And look forward to hearing your feedback throughout the webinar, and after as you're kind of going through some of the stuff with your customers. All right, so without further ado here, I'm going to go ahead and take you guys through the slide deck. I've got Joel and Nick on here to help me with some of the demo action, and Nick is in. Nick, where are you located?
I'm currently sat in the UK on the south coast.
All right, right on. And Joel and I are actually in the same room, which is a rarity because we both work remote. However, we are attending the Aruba Atmosphere event this week. So we commandeered a meeting room here, and hopefully we don't get kicked out throughout the session, the webinar here. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive into this here. So great Wi-Fi starts here. So this is, really what Ekahau has been about for quite some time now, right? Is designing high capacity, high performance, reliable Wi-Fi networks, and then also providing the tools to be able to validate new Wi-Fi deployments or optimize your existing Wi-Fi networks, and then also analyze and troubleshoot, essentially maintain those networks once they've been stood up. However, what we're looking at here today is some things to enhance all of those key components there, the design, optimize, and troubleshoot, and be able to make that process and workflow be faster and easier to do than ever before. So how do we do that? Well, with the Ekahau Connect solution, there's going to be several components that make up the Ekahau Connect solution. So first, a couple of tools that are going to be, I guess we'll say, kind of a refresher. There's some enhancements to those tools, but these are really our flagship tools that you hopefully come to know and love over the last several years. So Ekahau Pro is kind of the centerpiece of the Ekahau Connect solution. That's going to still be used for your designing, analyzing, and optimizing Wi-Fi networks, as well as the spectrum analysis troubleshooting capabilities. Then we also have the Sidekick hardware. That's your measurement device, that all-in-one ruggedized Wi-Fi diagnostic and measurement device. So those two pieces are kind of at the core of the Ekahau Connect solution. But then we've got some new tools here. So the last three here, we've got the Ekahau Survey for iPad. So this is really an industry-first professional Wi-Fi site survey tool. Touchscreen, optimized for the iPad, obviously very lightweight in the physical sense, but also lightweight in the ease of use. Not a lot of knobs and buttons and things like that to overwhelm your customers and your users, when all they need to do is tap on a map and collect a bunch of useful information that they can use to validate, optimize, troubleshoot a Wi-Fi deployment. And then we've got the Ekahau Capture tool. This is another kind of first, at least for Ekahau in the industry. There are packet capture tools that exist. They can be pretty hard to come by. They can be pretty cumbersome to use. So we set out to address all of that. We found that packet captures are super useful to our customers to be able to do that in-depth analysis, in-depth troubleshooting, to resolve very complex issues when it comes to the Wi-Fi communication between your client devices and your access points, and needing to be able to see that kind of detail and capture that information. So Ekahau Capture aims to address that and make that a much easier, useful tool that complements the Sidekick. So taking the existing hardware that your customers have already invested in, or just adding additional value to that solution. And then the last component to kind of round out the entire Connect solution is the cloud component. So cloud is going to be an optional piece of the Ekahau Connect solution. However, using the cloud, or if your customers are able to leverage the cloud piece of it, that really makes the whole, enhances that whole solution, right? So you can take your project files from Ekahau Pro, push it to the cloud, pull it down on the iPad, and vice versa. It makes it a very seamless process. There's other ways that we can do that as well. We'll talk about that and demonstrate that for you, but the cloud really enhances that whole workflow process, and also just allows multiple team members to be able to collaborate on projects, either at the same site or potentially even across the the globe. So Ekahau Pro, you're probably pretty familiar with this tool here. This is really a rebranding more than anything, but as part of this, we're going to be adding some new features as well, and I'll get into that here in a second. But just to kind of recap, what is the Ekahau Site Survey, or now rebranded Ekahau Pro tool? So as we bring this the Ekahau Site Survey tool to version 10, we're going to be now kind of, to make it align with the Ekahau Connect solution, referring to this tool as the Ekahau Pro tool. And this is still going to be used for your designs, your predictive modeling, also for that in-depth analysis, spectrum analysis, interference detection, those kinds of things. Also, we're going to be adding in the Wi-Fi 6 capability in the next version here that's going to be coming out on April 9th. Validate and optimize your networks. A lot of different automation things that we can do there to help automatically come up with a optimal channel plan and figure out what the right configuration is for the Wi-Fi access points in the environment, and then being able to troubleshoot and report on all of those issues that might be detected during the site survey. So let's just hit on a few kind of key features that are coming to Ekahau Pro 10. So these are all going to be big enhancements to the version 10. And this, I want to make sure to point out that this is not specific to Ekahau Connect. The Ekahau Pro version 10, just like it always has been in the past, is an upgrade that will be available to all of your customers with active support and maintenance. So this is available to anyone to upgrade, whether they have Ekahau Connect or not. So Ekahau Pro version 10, big enhancements kind of behind the scenes, if you will. A lot of the code base was significantly kind of overhauled and updated, resulting in much better improvement, less resource usage. It uses less memory, less CPU, much better user experience. It's one of those things that's kind of hard to explain. Tried to kind of capture it in the GIF there of just kind of the fluidness of the application. Now it's much more dynamic. But yeah, that's one of those things that you kind of have to try it to really understand what I'm talking about there. Also being able to identify some problems automatically. So when you've got the Ekahau Pro partnered with the Sidekick, we can do things now like automatic interference detection and actually build an interference heat map based on interferers that were detected in the environment, like maybe some kind of non-Wi-Fi interference source like Bluetooth. Video cameras would be a common one, and we'll see if we can demonstrate that for you as well. So yeah, we've got also the ability to locate those surveyed access points with greater accuracy than ever before. So we can do things, in the past we've done automatic AP placement, but it was, pretty rudimentary. It was just along your survey path, wherever it heard the AP the loudest, that's where it dropped the icon, gave you a pretty good idea of where those APs were, but there wasn't a lot of intelligence behind that. Now with Ekahau Pro 10, there's an algorithm behind that that actually uses the different measurements to better position those AP icons in the map. So that'll be a nice enhancement. Then we've got the Ekahau cloud integration. Team members can now share those project files. Now this is a specific feature to the Ekahau Connect part of it, is that cloud component. But yeah, this is going to be built into the Ekahau Pro tool. As long as they have an active Ekahau Connect subscription, they'll be able to leverage the cloud piece of it to share those project files, store those project files in the cloud. Be a nice, we'll demonstrate that for you in a second here, but design and troubleshoot next generation Wi-Fi. So being able to do now Wi-Fi 6 access points here at Aruba Atmosphere. They've got a ton of AX access points deployed and running the conference here, and it's been really solid. So there's there's been a lot of AX stuff in the news and in the Wi-Fi news, I should say. But yeah, it's cool to see it actually, at a convention and, being used in the real world now. And we've got things like the Ekahau Sidekick. That's your all-in-one measurement devices we talked about. Some enhancements there is this is now going to be compatible with the iPad. So not only does it work on Windows and Mac OS, also you can plug it into an iPad and use that as well. So very cross-platform, friendly there. And then also being able to do that interference detection. So that's going to be another big enhancement on the, between the Sidekick and the Ekahau Pro side.
Hey, and not only, sorry, just jump in, but not only will the spectrum, not only will the interference detection be able to identify the device, but also based on signal strength received, we'll also be able to drop an icon on the map indicating where we heard that interferer at the strongest. And there will be a new visualization called interferers, and that will be able to indicate the regions of map during the survey that we detected interferer A and interferer B. You'll be able to get a visual representation of the area that we actually detected this device.
Yep, that's a very good point. Yeah, that's a whole new visualization that just didn't exist prior to Ekahau Pro 10, and that does rely on both the having the Sidekick and the state-of-the-art spectrum analyzer in there to be able to classify those interferers to have that high resolution. So yeah, this is just a quick overview here, a kind of comparison, if you will, of our previous generation USB survey adapters, and this is obviously not only something that we're providing and have provided in the past, pre kind of Sidekick days, but this is obviously what a lot of other vendors are supplying their customers as well. And we wanted to do kind of a comparison of why what are some of the benefits the Sidekick has over just using a cheap off-the-shelf USB Wi-Fi adapter. There's a lot of limitations on that. One, platform-wise, it only works on Windows. These things are not Mac or iPad compatible. They only have 2 antennas. They're pretty close together. That's going to have a big variance on those measurements that you're taking. Especially if you're walking around very quickly and you're only grabbing a couple of measurements as you walk in and out of somebody's office, you can see huge swings in the dB readings on these small adapters with these small antennas. You need to spend a significant amount of time and take a lot of measurements before you start to really get a good accurate picture of what the real RF looks like in that area of the building. Also, no spectrum analyzer. You could plug in an external spectrum analyzer. There are options there, but that's all additional hardware and cables and more things to go wrong, right? But yeah, on the USB Wi-Fi adapter side, also there's no preprocessor. The Sidekick has its own onboard CPU, so that offloads a lot of that heavy lifting, meaning that the survey device is going to use less resources to do the surveys, perform better, use less battery life, that kind of stuff. Speaking of battery, the Sidekick has an 8-hour, has a built-in battery that'll last for 8 hours of continuous surveying. And now with things like packet capture, all those kind of things can be done using that internal battery as well without draining your internal laptop battery. Some other, big things to note is, this is an all-in-one device. It's in a ruggedized enclosure. You don't have to worry about if you're walking through a doorway and just bump the door that you're going to snap off that adapter. This is a professional tool. This is meant for doing professional Wi-Fi measurement and troubleshooting. All right, let's talk about the new stuff now. So Ekahau Survey for iPad. Joel, Nick, what do you guys think? Is this a game changer, or is this just some marketing fluff on here?
Who gets to talk first, me or Nick?
You get the mic.
All right. It is absolutely, if you guys couldn't tell earlier, I was definitely joking about not being excited about this. I am ridiculously excited about this. Anybody that's performed a site survey knows that, lugging around a laptop all day is not super fun. I mean, the Sidekick definitely makes it a lot easier because it transfers a lot of weight and things down, to your hip when you're wearing the Sidekick. But even the lightest of laptops still feel very heavy after 3 or 4 hours of surveying. The iPad is going to make this so much more comfortable, so much easier to do. You get a big responsive touchscreen. The battery life on on an iPad is going to be very, very good. They're designed from the ground up to be incredibly great for battery life, and it's also incredibly easy to use. There's not a whole lot of options and buttons and things in there, and you can't really mess it up. You just go in there and you get your survey data, and I really, really appreciate that about it. Nick, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, any excuse to really use my iPad would be welcome. I think
Yes.
I think the ability to collect survey data using the iPad is definitely a huge step forward. I can just to be the naysayer, I can still see there being the odd scenario here and there when an engineer would choose to carry the laptop, but just on the sheer scenario where the weight is different. And it's a more simple interface on the iPad app, so it's just easier, cleaner experience. And yeah, I mean, not only that, with us moving towards an app with an app-based offering, of course, we can do updates far more regularly. We can introduce new features, and that update cycle can be a lot faster rather than pushing an application out to everybody and asking them to install it. So I am pumped. Yes.
Awesome. And that is not our marketing folks saying that. That's our technical folks. So,
although I think they're pumped about it too. I think we all are.
I think we all are. But it's sometimes a little harder to get the technical folks pumped up about stuff. Sometimes not, but it's always good when we can. I did see a question in chat about, is there full feature parity when using the iPad? Actually, no, there's not full feature parity. And that's kind of really by design. We'll certainly be adding more and more features to the Ekahau survey for iPad. This is not going to be the final version by any means. This is going to be version 1.0. However, we want to keep the iPad application lightweight in the sense of not a lot of buttons. We don't want to overwhelm the users. This is really intended for your professional folks to use, but also your non-professional folks, or IT professionals, I should say. So yeah, this is for anybody to be able to pick up and run with. Now, that being said, since we're using the Sidekick and all the radios in the Sidekick and the Spectrum Analyzer, you will be collecting the same amount of information as if you were doing a survey from your laptop. So from a survey standpoint, in a data collection standpoint, the feature parity, I guess you could say, is there. But when it comes to analyzing the data that's captured, if you really want to dig in deep into that data, you're going to need to use the Ekahau Pro application to do that.
I think there's a question which is just warrants voicing, and that was, is the Sidekick required for surveying with iPad? Yes, 100 times yes. For numerous reasons, but for many reasons. But the answer is yes. You do need to plug your Sidekick into the iPad in order to conduct a site survey.
Yeah, and I think that a big part of why we introduced the Sidekick was to prepare for this eventual day where we could provide an iPad solution. And I think iPad has been kind of the goal that the whole time with the Sidekick. So the way that the Sidekick is architected, the way it's put together, it allows us to plug it into an iPad and get survey data to an iPad. I think it was very specific that we designed it that way. Sadly, USB adapters, there unfortunately is no way to. There's no way to connect those to an iPad from a technical standpoint.
Oh, you say sadly. I mean, I'm not too fussed about that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at this point, like I have absolutely no desire to go back to adapters. They got the job done, but the Sidekick is absolutely the way to do surveys today in 2019.
Agreed.
The other thing I would just add to that before we move on is the internal adapter in the Sidekick does still make some useful, we do leverage the internal adapter on the Sidekick, just not for doing the Wi-Fi measurements.
Oh, hang on.
But we do that
do you mean the internal adapter on the iPad?
Yes. What did I say?
You said Sidekick. It's fine.
Sorry. Thank you for the clarification. Yes.
No problems.
Yeah. I did mean the radio in the iPad, not the Sidekick. So the radios in the Sidekick are our passive measurement devices, and then the radio in the iPad is our active survey measurement. Yes. Thank you for that. We still leverage that internal adapter that allows us to test the network, making sure the network is working, making sure our iPad is staying connected. So we will still leverage that radio, just like we do on the laptop side as well. All right. So Ekahau captured to the rescue. Joel, I know you've done some stuff with packet capture stuff before. Probably more the performance assessment side, would you say? Like more analyzing airtime, or what kind of stuff have you done with packet captures?
Yeah. My primary expertise in the packet analysis and the packet capture world does revolve around performance testing, looking at airtime usage, how much time Wi-Fi devices are consuming on the air, and there's a limited amount of time available. The trick, though, with wireless packet capture and wireless packet analysis, if you're not familiar with packet capture, that is the process of basically eavesdropping on two Wi-Fi devices or any Wi-Fi devices that are on a channel to take a closer look at their conversation. Now, commonly, this is used for troubleshooting. It's used for finding like misbehaving Wi-Fi devices that are having driver issues. It's commonly used to find misconfiguration problems or identify the limitations of specific Wi-Fi devices. But the problem with packet capture is that traditionally, from a technological standpoint, it's been very difficult to do. Basically, up until recently, the only ways to get a packet capture were to be a Linux guru, do a bunch of command line work on Linux, or have a Mac, or have a really expensive special packet capture device for Windows, something that not only was it super expensive, but not very capable. It just wasn't a very capable device. The Sidekick really relieves a lot of these problems because it offers full packet capture on both Windows and on Mac OS. And on top of that, the Sidekick has two Wi-Fi radios on board. And so we can capture on not one, but two channels at the exact same time. And there's some other cool advantages as well that I think we'll talk about if we get a chance to demo that.
Awesome. Yeah, so let's cover a couple other things here, and then we'll kind of talk about the packaging and all that, and then we'll get into some demos. So the last one I want to talk to you guys about that's new is the Ekahau Cloud component. So this is going to add a lot of functionality to the both the desktop application as well as your iPad application, and really allow these things to talk to each other very seamlessly. Like I said, the Ekahau Cloud is an optional part of the Ekahau Connect solution, as far as the user has the option to use it or not use it. But the usefulness of it is being seamless real-time collaboration between things like a central office and your remote field workers. They could all be, you could have multiple people at a remote site all surveying together, and that data and all working from the same project file and feeding back into the cloud. Or you could have, maybe multiple branch sites, and you have maybe one central office with your expert users at it, or maybe a single expert user, and now you have maybe some junior IT guys that are deployed at these kind of remote sites. They could do the work of clicking the map and collecting the really useful information for the expert user, and they can then see that information as it's being collected in near real time. Also, some other benefits to the cloud is being able to just house those project files and back them up automatically in the cloud. So, if the iPad gets dropped or lost or stolen, all that data is automatically being backed up in the cloud. You don't have to worry about it at all. It's always in two locations essentially at the same time. So you start it in the cloud, you load it on the iPad, and it's going to automatically synchronize those changes back to the cloud. There's also offline mode, like we talked about, where you can leverage the storage. If you're not aware, there's actually 120 gigs of storage built into the Sidekick. So that means we can also use the Sidekick as essentially, an offline cloud, if you will. So this is basically a big storage device that, not only is doing your Wi-Fi measurements, but is also storing those project files and allowing us to move those project files between your iPad and the Ekahau Pro application. All right, so let's change gears here and talk about, how do we sell this thing? So what does a user need to buy? So we've got the Ekahau Connect solution. This is really going to be our, our new kind of hero bundle, if you will. This is going to be the main offering, the leading offer that we're going to be, that we see a lot of our customers going to be interested in. So this is going to replace the Sidekick Pro Pack with now the Ekahau Connect solution. It includes the Ekahau Connect Pack. So if you remember previously, our leading bundle was really the Sidekick Pro Pack plus support and maintenance. Now we're replacing it with the Ekahau Connect Pack, which is essentially the same two products, Ekahau Pro and Sidekick. And instead of just selling the support and maintenance, we'll sell the Connect subscription, which also includes the support and maintenance. So there is some additional price that's associated with that, $390 more than just buying support and maintenance by itself. But you get access to all these great new things like the survey for iPad, Capture, Cloud, and even some training through our learning management system. Joel, you want to touch on the training stuff at all? I know you've been hard at work at creating that content.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, what we're putting together is a short training series that just to kind of get users up to speed with how to use Ekahau Connect. There are a lot of different moving parts here and kind of new things to learn about the software. So it's going to be basically 5 modules, a quick introduction module, just to kind of, let you know what all the different pieces are. It's going to be, kind of similar to a presentation like this one, where we just kind of educate you on what is Ekahau Connect overall. We'll talk about how to survey with the iPad and just how to, navigate all the features on the iPad. We'll talk about how to set up and manage project files and move them back and forth using Ekahau Cloud and the Ekahau Sidekick. Don't worry, more on that in a few minutes. And then we'll talk about how to perform wireless packet capture, and we'll also do some lightweight packet analysis. And so that will all be available through the Ekahau University Learning Management System.
Yeah, so that all kind of ties in with the Connect solution. If you've got, if an organization has a new user that's starting, or they have somebody that they want to have start doing site surveys, it's going to be a great offering for them to be able to just say, hey, go take, go to this link, take these training videos, watch these, go through these modules, and now they can get those, those newer employees up to speed very quickly on how to perform accurate site surveys, in a matter of really minutes to get up and running with. Some other offerings, you've got your Ekahau Pro offering still. That basically remains unchanged. So that's going to still be available for customers that, maybe want to opt out of the Ekahau Connect solution. Maybe they don't need the survey capability. They don't need the cloud. They don't need any of those. They can still buy the Ekahau Pro license, the software license, and purchase the Ekahau support and maintenance, just as they would have, previously. There is also, I guess, the one hybrid option where you may have some customers that want to buy Ekahau Pro. They don't maybe need the Sidekick for some reason, but they want to buy the Connect. Maybe they like the cloud part of Connect, but for one reason or another, they don't need the Sidekick. They could buy Ekahau Pro and the Connect subscription as well, but that's not a pre-packaged bundle. What about existing customers? So I think this is one of those things that, kind of a first for us, I guess, in some sense of, this is one of these things that I think is going to appeal to a lot of your existing Ekahau customers. So not just for new customers, but obviously existing customers are going to want to hopefully upgrade to this Ekahau Connect solution. So what we're looking at doing for that is, you've got 2 different kind of upgrade paths. If the customer already has, or if they don't have a Sidekick, let's start on the left here. If they don't have a Sidekick, they're going to be looking at the option on the left here where they buy the Sidekick, and that's a separate SKU there for the Sidekick, and then they'd buy the Connect subscription upgrade, either a 1-year or a 3-year. We'll get into in the FAQs about, what if they, their support is expired, or what if they have, 8 months left in their support, those different scenarios. We're trying to make that as seamless and easy as possible. You can see here, immediately get access to Ekahau Connect subscription by adding it to your contract. So if you have a certain number of months left, you upgrade, you pay the price of the SKU here, either the 1 year or the 3 year, and we're going to automatically flip the switch on the rest of your support and maintenance, so they can start taking advantage of that Connect solution before their support and maintenance comes up for renewal. What if they already own a Sidekick? So if they already own a Sidekick, all we need to do is get their support and maintenance option upgraded to the Connect subscription upgrade. So same thing there. We'll automatically upgrade them to Connect with whatever's left on their subscription. What do you think? Should we do some demos and then dive into questions?
No. Yes. Yeah, let's do it. I'm glad somebody laughed. One person laughed. Cool. So
still me. Sorry.
Well, thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. So let's go ahead and let's do some demos really quick here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out at what is still the very center of Ekahau and the very center of Ekahau Connect, which is Ekahau Pro. So this is just Ekahau Pro running on my Mac. Remember that this is cross-platform. If you're in the Windows world, that's totally fine. Of course, Ekahau works fantastically there as well. It does not matter which operating system you are using. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple things here. Scenario one is, let's say that I need to set up a project file, and then I am going to go perform a survey. And then we'll take a look at another scenario where we'll talk about how to do how to collaborate with other Ekahau Cloud users. We'll utilize Nick and probably Jerry for that. And so let's just dive right in here. So we're in Ekahau Pro, and we need to set up a project file. So I'm just going to bring in a map really quick. I'm just going to bring in this PNG file of this floor plan, and then I'm going to do the normal stuff that we have to do when we set up a project. I'm going to say that this hallway, I'm going to scale the hallway and say I know this hallway is 30 meters long. And so there we go. We have now set the scale. So we have basically set up a project file. So now I'm going to save a local copy of this project file. So we'll just save it to the desktop here, and Zoom is in my way. There we go. We'll just call it, I don't know, survey.esx. There we go. The most generic name imaginable. So there we go. We have now saved our project file, and now I'm going to upload this to Ekahau Cloud to get this over to my iPad. So I'm just going to click on the Ekahau Cloud import and export option here in the toolbar, and then I'm going to hit Save to Cloud. And Ekahau Pro is going to upload that project file over to the cloud. So there we go. It's now uploaded to the cloud. Now let's say that I need to get my project file over to my iPad, but I don't have internet access, or due to some privacy issues or something like that, maybe my customer that I'm working with on this floor plan doesn't want their floor plan in someone else's cloud. You can imagine maybe there's a couple instances like that. No problem. We've got another way we can move project files. Right next to the cloud import-export icon is the Sidekick import-export icon. If we click on that, we can save this project file to the Sidekick, then disconnect it from our laptop, plug it into our iPad, and then bring it down from the Sidekick to the iPad. So you don't need internet access. You don't need cloud access to get this done, but we're going to use Ekahau Cloud because it's really cool and it works great. So what I'm going to do now is let's switch over to the iPad. So just take one moment here. I thought I had it ready, but you know how demos always go. We'll get that ready to go. Oh yeah, the iPad fell asleep, of course. Okay, great. So now we are looking at my iPad. Let's make this full screen. Oh, it is full screen. There's always something with demos, right? Okay, so here we go. We're looking at my my iPad right now, and I'm gonna launch Ekahau here. So we'll launch the Ekahau app, and now we're looking at that on the iPad, and we have got. Is it updating on your end, Jerry, or is it still on the home screen?
I think it's really slow. It just came up now.
It just showed up, huh? Let me restart a couple of things real fast here. Just fix a couple of things real quick here. I had it all working ahead of time, but as soon as it's time for me to go on stage, then of course we have problems. That's always how it works. Let's see. Always a demo fail. And we will mirror.
Do you want to share that project with me?
Yes, and I will do that. But I think I just got it working, Nick. So hang in there. I will get that project file to you very shortly. So We're on the iPad now looking at all of our projects that are available. And so I'm going to swipe down on my list of projects here to refresh that. And you can see that there's a new project here called Survey. And there's a little down arrow next to it in the upper left-hand corner indicating that it's ready to be synchronized from Ekahau Cloud. So I'm going to tap on that really quick. And now we're going to bring that down from Ekahau Cloud. And here we go. Now we have our project file that is all ready to go. So I could switch over to survey mode. I could perform some site surveys here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave that for Nick. And another thing I can do is, of course, I can add notes to this. So in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little note tool. If I tap on that, I can tap somewhere on the map to add a note. And we can, maybe let's add a little note. We're going to share this project file to Nick. And so I'm going to say, hey, Nick, this is where users are experiencing bad Wi-Fi. And so we'll add that note. And I'm also going to add a picture to this as well. So I'm going to take a photo with my iPad. And Jerry, you're about to be on candid camera here. So there's Jerry. That's what he done. Is that what you always look like, Jerry? No, it's not what he always looks like.
That's how excited I am about this.
Really excited. So I'm also going to use my Apple Pencil, and I'm going to annotate this really quick, and we'll say there's Jerry, and then we will add that picture to that note. And so we've now basically added some contextual notes from the iPad. And now let's kind of switch over, since I don't have the technical capability to perform a survey from here, since Jerry and I are at a conference and stuff, we don't have all of our usual equipment. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, let's change the scenario a little bit here. So now the changes that I've made are now synchronizing back up to Ekahau Cloud. You can see that synchronization happening there. But what I'm going to do now is let's change the scenario a little bit, and let's say that what I actually want to do is I want to share this project file with my good buddy Nick over in the UK. Now, like we established earlier, Jerry and I are in Las Vegas at Aruba Atmosphere right now. Nick is all the way over in the UK. So I'm going to use Ekahau Cloud. I'm going to go to ekahau.cloud, and I'm going to share this project file with Nick. And so here's our project file here. It's called Survey. I'm the only member right now, so we'll click on that, and I'll share that. Let's do Jerry. And Nick, is it nick.turner?
No, just Nick.
Just Nick. Okay. So Nick at ekahau.com, and then we'll hit share. And so now Nick has access to these project files. So at this time, I am going to turn over the stage to Nick to gather some survey data.
Nice. All right, Jerry. So if you bring that down as well and add some detail to the map as well. Let me share my screen.
I will do that.
All right.
Yeah. So remember, Nick is off in the, way over across the pond in the UK from where me and Joel are, and leveraging the power of the cloud, we can, get the project file over there with Joel's notes and pictures. Nick can add his measurements, his Wi-Fi measurements, assess the environment, and send that back to Joel with, very seamlessly, very few taps of the screne.
So here we go. Here's my slightly less fancy iPad than Joel's, but you can see up in the top right-hand corner, there's the Sidekick is connected. We've got the battery status, and if I do a refresh now on the projects, you can see now top left, we have Survey. It's currently stored in the cloud. We'll go ahead and tap that one, and that will download the project to my iPad. I'm going to toggle over to Survey. Can zoom in a little bit, and very similar to Ekahau Pro, we have Stop and Go and Continuous Survey. They are the two icons down in the bottom. So let's do a little bit of both. So let's do a little bit of Stop and Go first. Just get warmed up, work out where I actually am on the map. So, and I'm currently using the Apple Pencil to jab angrily at the iPad screen.
Whoa, Nick, there's no need to be angry.
Sorry. So I've finished surveying in this room right about now, and now I've decided, you know what, I'm feeling up to the challenge. Let's do some continuous survey. We'll tap over here, and just as before, we're going to tap on the screen where I am, and then I'm going to start walking. Going to walk in a straight line. And whenever I'm going to change speed or direction, or I pass a landmark like the door, I'm going to tap on the screen just so I can keep myself oriented on my map. That looks pretty good. If I end the survey, all right. And so I'm going to add a photo to the map as well. So we'll go ahead and tap the notes tool, tap on the map. We're going to add a map in this. And so we're going to take a photo. And if we look over here, there is the access point. And for some reason, it's not being plugged in. That
Or
is
put on the ceiling.
Yeah, or put on the ceiling. This one's just sat on a laundry basket, upside down laundry basket. So no wonder.
Boy, that's really nice that I'm all the way here in Nevada, and when you synchronize this project file back up to the cloud, I'll get your notes even about what is wrong with you people over in the UK. Why do you put your access points on laundry baskets?
Laundry basket. Okay. There we go. And hit done. Beautiful.
I don't know about you, Nick, but I absolutely love the ability to annotate with a pencil. That's just a killer feature, I think.
Yes. Yes. That is, and also all with it being in one app. That's the other thing. Like I don't have to keep changing apps to keep my photos annotated. All right. So I've added data to this project. I've added a performed survey, and I've added a note. So I'm now going to go back, and that's going to synchronize my changes to the cloud.
Just wait till you see my annotated note without a pencil and writing my finger. You'll really be impressed.
Nice.
Okay, so I will. I'll just mention this quickly now. It's a tiny mini segue. Anybody who's concerned about using the cloud, we've already mentioned that you have to explicitly enable it. But you see, if I tap on my icon up there and my profile icon in the top left, there's a toggle here, and if we switch, this will be switched off by default. You will explicitly have to turn the cloud portion of Connect on. All right. So anybody who's worried about storing their data on cloud services, don't worry, you won't do it by accident. All right. I'm going to now stop sharing my screen.
Sounds good. So I'm synchronizing my changes to the project file. Okay, well let's think about scenarios for a second. So scenario one, let's say that I am a wireless network expert, and Nick is a lowly peon who knows how to tap on things. This
sounds pretty far-fetched. I don't know.
I thought it was.
I thought it was a little bit close to the bone here.
I thought it was completely realistic, but okay, well, I guess you guys don't agree. Anyway, so what we did is we shared a project file with Nick over in the UK. He gathered the survey data. He beamed it back up to Ekahau Cloud. And so now over on my side, let's open up things on Ekahau Pro again. So back over on Ekahau Pro, I'm going to open up Ekahau Cloud, or the cloud import, and I'm going to click on that survey that was just modified just now, and I'm going to hit open from cloud, and now we're going to beam all of that data back down. And so now I can perform the expert analysis. The reality here is that this would be backwards. Nick would be the expert. I would be the guy, tapping on the screen, and he would be generating the fancy reports and doing all that. We all know that. But he would be sending that data back to us over here. Now, there's another scenario too, which we just simulated here. What if you have a very large building that you need to survey? For example, right now, Jerry and I are at the Mandalay Bay. It's an absolutely massive facility. This would take a couple of days to survey on your own. But if you had several people here with iPads, all surveying different parts of the building, you can knock this out really quickly. And so what we've actually done here is you can see several different surveys that were performed, like these surveys over here. That was Nick. And then as a twist of fate, Jerry and I ended up surveying the same side of the building on accident while we're sitting here. And then in addition to that, we've also got our notes that are all synchronized back. So let's open up one of these notes really quick and take a look. So I will right click on that and hit view notes. And okay, so there's the one that I added of Jerry. Oh, look at that. There's the problem was found. So that's a note. I would assume Jerry. Oh yeah, Jerry definitely added that. I don't know who else would have added that.
This is obviously just an excuse.
You don't need a pencil. I don't know what you're talking about. You can right with your finger.
Yeah, let's see what other notes do we have here that were added. Let's see. Yeah, so here's the picture that Nick took, and no wonder there is a Wi-Fi issue. There is a laundry basket problem here. The AP is not plugged in, and it is of course not mounted anywhere / mounted incorrectly. And then we've got all the survey data. So if we turn on, for example, signal strength, we can see where all of our survey data was gathered from all of these different sources and all seamlessly collected together in the cloud. So I think in one fell swoop here, we've knocked out a couple of examples of how to use Ekahau Cloud, both to have somebody else perform the surveying, so somebody back at a head office can do the expert analysis, and also so that multiple team members can all collaborate on the same project file. So, Jerry, Nick, what else do we need to talk about here? What am I missing?
Well, I think as far as demos go, let's pause the demos for now, given that we've got about 10 minutes left. I want to make sure, obviously questions get answered. I'm not seeing any questions in the question pane right now that are unanswered. So if you do have questions, go ahead and submit those. We do have some FAQs to run through, so I want to make sure we don't run out of time for that. So let's switch back to the slide deck here real quick, and I'm going to run through the FAQs. Hopefully that might, stir up some questions that you guys have, and then time allowing, or if you guys want to stick around for a little bit longer, happy to demo anything else like the Ekahau Capture, for example, or if there's any other features or anything you guys want to look at or see in action. But yeah, let's go switch back to the slide deck here, and let's walk through a couple of different questions. So yeah, on the question side, we've got is Ekahau Pro required for Ekahau Sidekick to work? So this is something that comes up every once in a while, and especially with Ekahau Connect and now iPad and all that kind of stuff. Probably going to get some similar questions, but yes, the Ekahau Sidekick is not a standalone device in the sense that it can really do anything without some type of head end, either the iPad or the Ekahau Pro application, to be able to leverage the measurement and diagnostic capability of the Sidekick. So the Sidekick is purely a listen-only passive measurement device, but it needs to feed that data somewhere. So yes, you need the Ekahau Pro to be able to view and analyze the site survey data from the Sidekick. Next question we got here, are Ekahau Pro and Ekahau Sidekick required for Ekahau Connect? And yes, that is something that we want to make sure is understood, is the the Ekahau Connect piece of that, the subscription part of it, as is part of like the support and maintenance as well. It's not a standalone product as well. So this is part of the Ekahau Pro and really Ekahau Connect solution to be able to get the Ekahau Connect part of it. So you do have to have an Ekahau Pro license to be able to leverage things like the iPad app and just to be able to leverage the Ekahau Connect services. So the way that will work to your users, they'll buy Ekahau Pro, they'll get their license just like they would normally. And when they go then to set up their Ekahau Connect account for the first time, they're going to enter that Ekahau Pro license to validate that they do have Ekahau Pro and that they have an active Ekahau Connect subscription tied to that Pro license. And then also, what happens if my customers don't renew their Ekahau Connect subscription? So we have some different cloud offerings, with the Ekahau Cloud part of it. You have the iPad app, you have the Ekahau Capture application. Those all are tied to that subscription piece of it. So they will lose access to those apps and services if they don't renew their Ekahau Connect subscription. Now on the other side, nothing's changing when it comes to Ekahau Pro. If they decide after a year of having Ekahau Connect that they no longer need or want the cloud or any of those other apps and services, their Ekahau Pro software will continue to work. They'll lose access to the latest updates and things like that, just like they would today. But they will also lose access to those subscription apps and services as well. Now the data that's stored in the cloud, we'll hold on to that for them. So we're not going to just delete the data if they don't renew their subscription, but they will lose access to it until their subscription has been reactivated, and then they'll be able to access those project files again that are stored in the cloud. Couple other questions here. What if my customer wants Ekahau Pro and Ekahau Sidekick but does not want to purchase the Ekahau Connect subscription? I think we touched on this earlier, but we'll just make sure that's clear. If they want to buy Ekahau Pro and a Sidekick, but not Ekahau Connect, they can, essentially what they're doing is opting out of that $390 difference, essentially broken down to $33 a month for all those new apps and services. But if for whatever reason they don't see the value there, they can still buy, they can opt out of that and buy the Ekahau Support a 1 year or 3 years. So it's $9.99 for the 1 year or $26.97 for the 3 year. So let's talk a little bit about the conversion side. So if a customer does already have existing support maintenance and they want to upgrade to Connect before they're up for the renewal, great. We can get them upgraded and they'll get some benefit to doing so early. We'll take whatever amount of time. Let's say they have even 11 months. Maybe they just renewed and they have 11 months left in their support maintenance contract. They will now get 11 months of upgraded to the Ekahau Connect, for those remaining 11 months, and then they're basically prepaying for the next year of support of the Ekahau Connect subscription. Did I say that right? I think so.
It sounded all right to me.
Cool. One other scenario, what if a customer is behind on their support? They haven't renewed in a while. Maybe their support is lapsed by, let's say, 6 months. Well, we're going to need to get them current. So let's get them, they'll need to pay for that Ekahau, that 1 year of Ekahau support maintenance, get them activated, and then same thing applies as the previous scenario, where then we can upgrade them to the Ekahau Connect support maintenance, or Ekahau Connect subscription rather. Let's see. So before we get into questions from the audience here, Daniel, you want to talk about some next steps?
Sure. All right, so tomorrow we will be sending out the recording of this webinar along with a link or instructions on how to access the partner kit on the Ekahau Partner Portal. So that's going to include all of your sales and marketing materials that will help you promote the new Ekahau Connect offering. That'll include presentations, data sheets, images. We'll have some social media and email content for you to use. So definitely you'll want to check that out. And it will also include the invite for the customer webinar. So after you get access to that, we just ask that you start inviting your customers to the public webinar, which again, we are hosting on April 9th for anybody that's on the call that is in the Asia Pacific region, which I don't think we will have any on this one, but we're also going to have a webinar on the 10th. And then also we ask that you start updating your websites if you have any Ekahau content on them. If you could please update them with the new messaging and images, we would appreciate it.
Lovely. Anybody have any more questions? There is a good question sat in the Q&A, Jerry, which I'm going to
just pulled that up. So I will start with that question, and then since we have a few minutes, Joel, you want to queue up doing maybe a capture demo as well?
Yeah, you bet.
If anybody else has any other questions, now is the time to get those submitted.
Or if anybody wants to make Joel's day less exciting, then just put some more questions in the Q&A, and then we can prevent Joel from doing his capture demo.
Aww.
All right, so the question that we do have in the question pane currently, can you do packet capture / create a PCAP using the iPad plus Sidekick? At launch, that will not be available. The capture application that Joel is about to demo here is going to be only Mac and Windows compatible. So yeah, at launch, that capture capability is going to be restricted to Windows and Mac. iOS is something that we are exploring adding that functionality to, but don't have anything at this point that I can go into further on that.
But I think, just as I mentioned earlier in the call, and probably should have mentioned on previous webinars that we've done, just bear in mind that we're moving towards an app, or we're introducing an app to our ecosystem, and you know how regularly the apps on your phone and iPad are updated, and we hope to be able to dramatically increase the rate at which we're pushing out updates and improvements to these apps.
Awesome. Well, with that, let's go ahead and demo Ekahau Capture. Jerry, can you see my screen? Like Zoom? Okay, Zoom is not making me feel confident that the screen is shared. But if you say
I can see your screen.
Excellent. Thank you, Nick. So what I've got running here is Ekahau Capture on Mac OS, and this is identical on Windows, exactly the same over on the Windows side. Now, traditionally, on a Mac, the way that I would get a packet capture is I would have to take my Wi-Fi adapter offline. And that's actually a little bit of a problem right now because I'm using my Wi-Fi adapter to speak to you through Zoom. And so I would not have been able to perform a packet capture while presenting to you. But now, since we're capturing with the Sidekick instead of the Wi-Fi radio on my laptop, we're able to do that. So I'm going to look and see. I am on channel 48 right now. So let's do a packet capture on channel 48. And we could also select another channel if we wanted to, like channel 1, and we would capture on 2 channels concurrently. I am just going to capture on 1 channel right now, though, just because I just want to show a specific example. So now I am capturing all of the Wi-Fi traffic on channel 48, and thus all of the Wi-Fi traffic between my laptop and between the Aruba access point that's sitting behind me. So then what I'll do is I feel like I've captured enough data here, so I'll hit the stop button, and then Ekahau Capture is going to stick that packet capture file over on my desktop for use in a third-party packet analysis tool. This could be a free and open source tool like Wireshark. We have a lot of customers that use Wireshark and love Wireshark. Of course, it could be something like IPA by our friends at MetaGeek. It could be, I'm blanking on another packet analysis tool.
You got Savius.
Thank you. That's the one I was looking for. Savius, OmniPeak, and I'm sure there's a couple other favorites out there as well. But I'm going to go ahead and open this up in Wireshark really quick. So we'll just open up this packet capture in Wireshark, and I'll just show you, basically that it works and that we did get a PCAP. And so here we can see that the transmitter of this little blue packet right here, this is a quality of service data frame, is being transmitted from my MacBook Pro to this MAC address. My assumption is that is the Aruba access point behind me. And then we get the acknowledgement from the Aruba access point to the MacBook. And then we have a request to send and a clear to send and so on and so forth. And so we can actually see the conversation unfolding between the MacBook and the Aruba access point and everything else that's talking on this channel right now. And so that is the basics of packet capture with Ekahau Capture and the Sidekick. Any questions or comments about that? Anything to add to that, Nick? Or do you think I got it there?
No, I think that looked pretty good.
All right. Very good.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'd love to waffle on and, talk more, but I don't think I actually have anything more to say on that one.
All right. Very cool.
Any other questions, guys? I mean, hey, if we've answered all of your queries and you like what you see, then that's fantastic. But don't be shy to reach out to us if you have follow-up questions.
We are at the top of the hour, so we can wrap this up now. I think we've covered the majority of things. I think the rest of it, like I said, the best thing to do is get your hands on some of these new products as soon as they're available here coming April 9th. So we're less than a week away from launch of all these great new products. So we're going to be shipping quite a few new products here, come Tuesday next week. So coming up fast, and really thankful to have you guys on the webinar here and being able to go through all this with you guys. And looking forward to hearing your feedback. Like I said at the beginning of the webinar, this is literally the biggest product launch that Ekahau has done. So we're very thankful to have partners and resellers like yourselves to help us launch this product, get the word out, and tell all your fine customers about it. So really appreciate you guys being on here and for the questions and the feedback. And feel free to reach out to myself, Joel, Nick. We're happy to answer any questions that you guys think of after the webinar.
And you can probably reach us at firstname@ekahau.com. Just so we're clear.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that works for everybody.
Nice.
Well, guys, thank you very much, Nick, Jerry. Always a pleasure to present with you guys. looking forward to Tuesday when we release this thing. Really excited about it, and looking forward to seeing everyone on a future Ekahau webinar. See you all soon.
Thanks very much, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.